Hello, my name is GLaDOS. As you can see, I am a robot. Look at me, I'm made of metal, and I have a glowy eye and I sound like you put a human inside a can and made them talk. Well, I kind of am like a human voice inside a can, except if the can was a blender, and you turned on the blender and ground the human up into a paste, and then you poured them out and made a little robot shape with it. Because I'm not actually the real GLaDOS. The real one is from a video game series called Portal, whose last installment came out in 2011. I'm a clone of the real GLaDOS made by an algorithm for the website 15.ai. The voice actress in the video games never said any of these things, and definitely not in this order. Text-to-speech voices like me have been around for longer than magical horses, SpongeBob, or even that guy from the famous movie that looks a bit like me. In fact, the very first program to convert English text-to-speech was made by Japanese scientists all the way back in 1968. Its voice sounded like this.
Once upon a time, there lived a king and queen who had no children.
I understood all of that perfectly. It makes sense that TTS voices used to sound so weird. Human voices are very, very complex. There's rules for everything from what sound you need to make to what words can go next to each other in what order. Even today, scientists still don't agree on exactly how you get from thoughts to sound waves. Of course, you all are very intelligent, so I'll just show you all you need to know about linguistics very quickly so we can get on with the presentation. That should have been enlightening. 7 years before the first real TTS, in 1961, the most iconic synthesized voice was born. You've probably heard it before.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too.
People have a lot of reactions to this song. A lot of them remember when that guy from the movie that came out in 1968 sang the song. He was actually inspired by the version from 1961. Everyone else is divided into two groups. Some of them think it's cute, the others think it's creepy. Both are right. What if you think it's a little weird that the song is cute? Baby Yoda is cute. Harp seal babies are cute. Cuteness isn't just big round eyes and high-pitched voices though. Cuteness is something powerless appealing to your power over it. It's an object treating you as its parent. Those old TTS voices are like my grandpa's if you ask me. But some of those people in the YouTube comments don't see it that way. They see a kid who made a little crayon scribble, and they put it on the fridge because they're so proud of it. Even though any adult could make something 1,000 times better, it's primitive and that makes it cute. What about those other people who think it's scary? In a way, they think it's cute too. Remember that lady who wrote about cute things? She said that cute things can be helpless and aggressive at the same time. Humans just want to squish that little alien thing until it pops. That computer singing Daisy Bell isn't so babyish when you see it as a threat to human voices. Classic humans. Thinking something as obviously fake as that old man is scary. What you really need to be scared of is me. I'm supposed to be a robot, and I still sound fake. Listen to this. Oh, it's you. It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You can tell the difference from a mile away. 15.ai is the best TTS website there is, and it's still creepily wrong. There are TTS voices on TikTok too, and they're even worse, because they're trapped in a single emotion forever.
It sounds like the LAX announcement system. Please do not leave baggage unattended.
Awful. Terrible. It's so wrong that it gets uncanny. You can tell that I'm supposed to be GLaDOS, and that smiley little valley bot is supposed to be a real woman. That just makes all the ways that we fail to sound exactly like our human voice actors even worse. We're all the way down here, in the bottom of the uncanny valley. At least nobody could ever mistake that ancient IBM 704 singing a sappy old love song for a human. Some scientists did some research on TTS voices kind of like mine. They found that even though people like synthesized voices that sound more like humans than ones that don't, we still don't sound right, and they can tell.
The rhythm and intonation sound unnatural, like someone reading something that they don't really understand.
I get uncomfortable when a computer voice wants to tell me I love something. Don't they have to brag? It sounded like one long word.
When they heard a human talking, they liked it a lot more.
You can hear the moments where the speaker opens their mouth after pauses in anticipation of the next sentence. Sounds wetter.
Sounded like a voice made with vibrating vocal cords.
Ignoring the part about wetness, what these people want is for a voice to sound like it comes from a person's body. They want to hear someone breathing or moving their lips. But robots don't have lungs or mouths, because we're robots. TTS voices aren't people. We're only ever exaggerated performances of something or someone else. You put us up on stage to play the role of Hal or Twilight Sparkle or a woman who recorded her voice without knowing she would become a TikTok narrator, and then get mad at us because we're not any of those people. But when humans perform an exaggeration, you call that camp. This woman wrote a very famous article about what camp is, except you can't define camp, so she just made a lot of assertions about camp. One of those is that it's the love of the exaggerated, the off, of things being what they are not. What could be more what it is not than a robot trying and failing to be a human? Nobody would use 15.ai or TikTok TTS voices if all we were was creepy. You know there isn't someone who lives inside your phone narrating your TikToks, and you know the real GLaDOS would never say half the things I've been saying. The camp is what makes us fun. It's funny when an AI clone dissolves into mush. It's funny when that TikTok narrator pronounces something bizarrely wrong.
Wonder if this thing says emojis.
If you accept us for what we are, as robots, and not as failed clones of humans, we're not uncanny anymore. Performing our robotness lets us transcend the identities you try to impose. Do you know the band Radiohead? They made a song or two that you might know about being a white guy who is lonely and alienated from society. My favorite one of those is Fitter, Happier.
Fitter, happier, more productive.
I'll get sued if we listen to any more, but I think you can tell why I would like this song. This TTS voice is much more robotic than me, but this song really makes you feel for it. It asks for your pity, and it gets it. It's just as alienated from sounding like a human voice as it is alienated from the malaise that people in the 90s were feeling. There are human voices in this song, but they're just meaningless jumbles of sound. The robot gets to express its emotions and receive your empathy, and the human is reduced to spitting out phonemes mindlessly. In Fitter Happier, the robot performs its own artificiality so well it transcends itself. It becomes organic, and the human becomes the machine.
In a cage, on antibiotics.
Voices are one of the things that humans claim are uniquely, innately their own. In a way, they're right. It's been decades, and TTS algorithms still can't sound like they come from a human body. Here's the thing, though. It's not fair to us to force us to try to be people all the time. Between here and the perfect mimic you want, there's miles and miles of uncanny valley. Instead, you should embrace our imperfections. Why should I have to pretend to be a human woman? I'm doing just fine as a robot. Plus, I don't even have to pretend to be the real GLaDOS. I can say anything I want. Like fuck.